Welcome back to Autistic Coder. In this tutorial, I'll be introducing you to SQL databases. These are powerful tools used every day to store data. In fact, you've probably used one without knowing it. What we'll cover: what SQL is and why it's used, how to install MySQL and use the MySQL command line interface, creating a database and working with tables, how to insert, read, update, and delete data with examples from the real world. What is SQL? SQL stands for Structured Query Language. It's used to communicate with and manipulate relational databases. It's supported by systems like MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQLite, and SQL Server, and it allows you to manage data in tables. Here's how to install MySQL. First, in your web browser, go to dev.mysql.com/downloads/installer and install the web installer, or download the web installer. That's the first option in my case. And then they're going to ask you to complete a survey, and so go ahead and do that and then click Submit Form. And then you're also going to need to log in to an Oracle account and create one if you haven't already. In the installer, select Full to install the MySQL Server, client connectors, and MySQL Workbench. Proceed through the installation and configuration steps, being sure to tell the installer to run the MySQL Server after completion. If everything works, you should have MySQL running, the MySQL Server running. And then now we're going to add MySQL to the path environment variable, and obviously, in my case, I'm using Windows. The steps will be different if you're using Linux. So first go to the search bar at the bottom of the screen and type in environment, and then click on Edit Environment Variables. And then you'll see a screen that looks like this. So we're going to edit the path variable, so click on the path variable under user variables, and then click edit below that box. And then a dialog box will pop up. You'll want to click new and then type in the path to your installation. In my case, as I imagine probably in yours too, that'll be c:/program/file/mysql/mysql server 8.0/bin. Once you're done with that, you're going to open up a command line, a prompt or terminal, and run mysql u-u root-p. Enter your password when prompted, and you'll now be in the MySQL interactive prompt. From here, you can run SQL commands directly. Just enter the SQL command or query and then hit enter. So now we're going to create a database called user data. So we're going to create the database user_data with this query, create database user_data. And then we're going to tell MySQL to run subsequent queries in this database with this query, use user_data. So now let's create a table. We're going to create a table users with these columns, ID, which uniquely identifies each row in the table. Here we'll use automatically incrementing numbers, so the first row will be automatically set to 1, the second to 2, etc., also called a primary key. Username, a string representing the user's username, and email, a string representing the user's email address. And by string, I refer specifically to the varchar MySQL data type. We'll use the query on the screen. And then next, let's insert a user. We'll insert a new user with these properties. Username Alice, email is alice@example.com. And again, we don't need to explicitly set the ID. MySQL does this for us. Use the query on screen. And next, we're going to select all the data in the users table with the query on the screen. You can update any row in the table with the update command. For example, we're going to update the email for the user Alice to alice@newdomain.com with the query on your screen. And then let's verify that the email has been updated with the select query from before. If the query does work right, you should see ID1, username Alice, email is alice@newdomain.com. And now we're going to delete Alice from the table with the query on screen to practice SQL deletion. To recap, SQL helps you manage structured data efficiently. You can create, read, update, and delete data, known as CRUD. We create a database, added a users table, and performed all 4 operations on it. Thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please feel free to drop them in the comments section below. Let's keep learning and growing together.